Hey guys, welcome back to Trek on the Tube, and oh my god, can you believe this? This is not a Star Trek Discovery review. It's a Star Trek Races video. I told you they'd be back. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the Tellarites. Just to make things clear, as usual, this video might not cover every little detail about these guys, but that's because the objective is to give you an idea of who the Tellarites are in the simplest way possible. This channel is still for people that are new to Star Trek, and there's not that much to say about these guys anyway. Alright, let's jump right in. The Tellarites were part of the 4 founding members of the Federation, so their importance within Star Trek's lore is immense. However, their on-screen appearances don't reflect that importance at all. Underused and seemingly forgotten for most of Star Trek's existence, the poor Tellarites haven't had much time to shine. Before Enterprise came around, they were only featured twice in the original series, once in the animated series, and in a couple scenes in a few of the movies. But they were just background characters. The only thing we really knew about them was they were part of the Federation. So what exactly did Enterprise teach us, and what visual changes did they go through over the years? Starting with the visual changes, not much, to be honest. From the get-go, they were made to be pig-like, with big snouts instead of noses, a lot of facial hair, and deeply sunk eyes. Some of them even had small tusks on their lower jaw, and some others had hoof-like hands. Also, they're generally smaller than humans, Vulcans, and Andorians. The only true discrepancy with the Tellarite design is their hands, because sometimes they have 5 fingers, sometimes they don't. For the most part, the makeup was simply updated now and then, their in-universe biological features remaining the same. From the original and animated series going through to the movies, right up to Enterprise, if you put them all against each other, all that really happened was the makeup got better in quality. You can really tell that they're the same race, which is an incredible feat for Star Trek considering how often they completely redesign things. Another interesting thing to note about their physiology is they found human room temperatures to be cold, so they have a lower body temperature. They also like mud baths, so pigs indeed. Alright, enough about what they look like, let's talk about who they are. Known for their stubborn pride, the Tellarites are an impatient people with a tendency to get emotional, and what they enjoy above all is a good argument. So much so it's even considered a sport on their home world. Often they'll start up a conversation with complaints or straight up insults for the fun of it. But this passion for debate doesn't just make them assholes, it makes them great politicians. Which, if you ask me, was a great addition to the Federation. Left to themselves, the arrogant humans, condescending Vulcans, and war-loving Andorians probably wouldn't have accomplished much. Though we don't know a lot about their history, it's confirmed they were warp-capable and in contact with other races by Earth's 20th century. In 1957, for example, when a Vulcan ship crash-landed on Earth, the Tellarites passed the information on to the Vulcan High Command. And by the time humans started exploring the great darkness of space, a good century later, they were already in conflict with the Andorians. Now, it's interesting to note that before showing us the really big picture, like the Tellarite politics or their fleet, Enterprise took the time to show us that they weren't just a two-dimensional race, not with all the same uniforms and with all the same mission. The series featured Tellarite bounty hunters, merchants, slave owners, and though they weren't always the story's focus, it adds depth to who they are. We even come across an automated Tellarite repair station for broken down ships, just sitting there in space, waiting for payment before applying repairs. To put it simply, for a long time the Tellarites weren't used as antagonists or protagonists, they were just present, somewhere in the distance. In the 2150s, however, as the humans became more involved with the political climate of their little portion of explored space, the Tellarites were forced into interacting more often with the Andorians and the Vulcans. It even got to a point where a treaty was signed between them all in order to defend themselves against a common enemy. This coalition of planets later grew into the United Federation of Planets we all know. Regarding their technology, more specifically their ships during the 2150s, we got to see 3 different designs. First of all, this shuttle, then this freighter, and this cruiser. Granted, all 3 crafts have very different purposes and scales, but oddly there seems to be no design philosophy. Be it with color or shape, the 3 ships have nothing in common. From the original series on, we don't ever see another Tellarite ship. I suppose it's logical because they're part of the Federation, part of Starfleet, so all the designs are common, but still, it would have been nice to see even a civilian design. But that might be asking for a bit much, because truth be told, the Tellarites themselves, after the original series films, were never really shown on screen ever again. I mean, sure, we got the odd reference in Deep Space Nine, or even Voyager, I think, but that's it. I suppose to finish this off, we could say a few words about the newest additions to the universe of Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline and Discovery. Okay, well, there's never been a Tellarite on screen in the Kelvin timeline, and Discovery decided to make them look like this. A bit of a radical change, don't you think? For future reference, regarding the races in both the Kelvin timeline and Discovery, I've decided I won't go into too much detail because both stories are still actively evolving, if you know what I mean. For all we know, Discovery showed us these Tellarites now, but they'll show us some more traditional looking Tellarites later on. Okay, well, that's it for me. Nice and short today because, I mean, let's face it, we don't know that much. I hope you at least did learn a little something. What do you guys think about the Tellarites? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Do you absolutely not care? If you've got a race that you want me to cover, tell me. I'll add it to my list of priorities and get to it as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Oh, speaking of friends, there's a colleague from work that just started his gaming channel. I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. He discovered Star Trek with my channel, and he's probably going to start watching the series sometime soon. He doesn't play any Star Trek related games, but I'm sure that you could probably persuade him. Okay, I wanted to say goodbye in a Tellarite way, but to tell you the truth, just like with the Andorians, there's no established formalities. I mean, the only thing I could really do is, I suppose, be insulting to stay in character. Yeah, that seems good. Alright, see you guys. See you soon. Not too soon.